So I started anxiety meds now 1 week ago. So therefore, I'm through my first week of anxiety meds, and it was definitely interesting. Not a particularly positive experience so far, but is what it is. So this series is basically me just talking about once a week, every Monday, how I'm doing with anxiety meds and kind of where I'm going and what the trajectory is for people that are curious about it or concerned about it, and they might go on it themselves or see if their experience is different from mine if they've tried them or they're on them currently, whatever it might be. And I just thought this would be good for me to kind of give myself 5-10 minutes of just completely like whoa, and just getting everything out that I need to get out and kind of just something to reflect on too eventually potentially if that's something that I look like I want to do at some point. And for other people, this might help them as well. So that's kind of what this is. But yeah, week one's done. So last Monday started them. Just a small dose for now. And day one, holy hell, stomach obliterated, completely obliterated. I had some violent diarrhea, to be completely blunt, and it was quite aggressive. And that lasted about 3 days. That was unfortunate. I took meds, and then it was like 3 hours after I took it on day one last Monday. Started getting nauseous, and then yeah, the floodgates really opened after that. So that was quite unfortunate and definitely an experience. But it's crazy how such a tiny small pill of something can just completely like just destroy your stomach for like 3 days on end. So that was definitely interesting. Didn't really see that coming. I knew the nausea thing was probably going to happen, but I didn't expect that. So that was definitely an experience. And that was honestly all of day one. That was just kind of it, just nauseous and upset stomach. Day two and three were more interesting. I still was nauseous and kind of got like a burny kind of nausea sensation kind of here. But to add on top of that, I was actually feeling violently more anxious. And like every time I went to bed, my mind was just ripping the whole night. Like I didn't get any rest and I was exhausted basically the whole week because of that. Because I was actually like, I'm generally anxious and my voice, like in my head, can really go off, especially at night. But those days, it was like at least twice, 3 times as bad. And I got no sleep basically, no restful sleep at least for the days two and three. So the first 3 days were really not like a great first start experience to it. That's kind of how it goes. Like you're literally changing the chemistry of your body and your brain. So yeah, that's gonna do some work to you a little bit. So that was definitely an experience for sure. And that was basically all of the first 3 days. By day four, that extra anxiety was kind of going down and starting to balance out to just where I was before. My stomach was a little bit better, like a lot of it better actually. The nausea was gone. Everything was still kind of a problem, but getting better. But I was really on edge, which was something that was kind of interesting too that I wasn't expecting. Like I was um, it's very snappy, like very, very quick, very agitated, very irritated about like literally everything. So that was also unexpected and kind of interesting. I think that was about Thursday when that more so started. And then it was about Friday and Saturday when that also just kind of kept on going a little bit. Um, I think I've been better yesterday and today, but definitely still kind of finding that equilibrium a little bit. I think my body's like adjusted well enough physically and mentally I'm getting there. I think the weirdest thing that I've noticed is it's like I went from being like not great, so I go on the meds, to actually being actively worse in basically every possible facet. And I'm kind of just right back where I started at, maybe. The one thing I've noticed after a week though now is I have like this strange dichotomy in my head where I have these old habits of like every time there's silence or I find peace and presence in the moment, I have like my brain just kind of shoots off to the side, or like that voice in your head just kind of shoots off to the side and is like, well, what if I think about this or this or this? Or what am I doing later? Or how am I going to approach this? Or what problems do we have? Stuff like that, and it just goes everywhere at once. And I've noticed that I still have that kind of happening, and I'm also doing other stuff. Like I'm not just taking meds and just kind of like raw dogging this. Like I'm reading a book on stuff. I'm actively practicing my best like ways to be as present as possible and doing different tactics and stuff like that. Obviously that's going to take a very long time as well with or without the meds, but that's I'm not just doing that. So I am tag teaming this with kind of multiple strategies on how to manage this. But I've noticed I have that voice and I'm trying to kind of cope with that and kind of settle that down, if not just silence it if I possibly can, as much as possible. But then on the other side of that, I have like this very weird, subtle kind of, and like almost like kind of hanging out here, this very like subtle calmness and like serene entity almost, it feels like, or just kind of essence that just washes over me a little bit. And I can't tell if that's from the strategies that I'm doing, if that's from the meds, if that's something else. Like I can't quite tell if that's the medication or not. but I've noticed there's like this very, very small like whisper of just like kind of just like a very calm, deep breath, but that voice is still kind of shooting off. So I've still have like the old habits are dying hard on that front, but then I'm having this like kind of calmness that washes over a little bit. So it'll be very interesting. I'm assuming that the meds have some sort of role in that, whether it's significant or not. I'm not sure, but I'm sure that's going to come more and more into play over the next like the next week specifically, and then after this next coming up like this next week here, then I'm gonna double my dose. So that's gonna get really interesting again for week 3. But for now, that's basically it. So we'll kind of see how this goes. We'll keep monitoring it. Yeah, let me know if you like this kind of video. If you like a weekly update on stuff like this, if you're interested in this. If you're not, that is fine, and I'm probably gonna do it anyway. So if you like this video, like. If you really like to subscribe. If you didn't, whatever. But definitely let me know. Do you like this? Do you not like this? Do what you will. Comment down below if you can relate to these things, if you felt different taking meds, if you're considering meds, like whatever your kind of thing is, whatever you hear, comment all that kind of stuff. I think that's it for this one. So yeah, see you in my other 3 videos that I have this week on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And if not those, then hopefully see you next Monday. I think that's it for this one. So yeah, see you later.